Musicians, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like hashtags anymore. I really don't. I used to like hashtags because, you could use them as sort of help for the algorithm to sort your content in the right place. You know what's a better way to sort your content than hashtags? Headlines, keywords, things that you put in your caption, things you put in your headlines, and things that you say and that are transcribed in your video. Okay? To me, I have been seeing way more results with artists who are not using hashtags anymore. It's weird. Like, for example, the idea, I think, because we're still testing, I think the logic here is if the headline is properly targeted, the algorithm is going to focus on finding those right people. But there's probably a lot of people using hashtags incorrectly. And what I mean by that is, let's say that they're a metal musician, but they'll put hashtag rock. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's not a good fit. So maybe the algorithm that's associated with hashtags is slightly confused, misinformed, diluted because have how many artists are maybe using too many hashtags or using hashtags that are not the most relevant. And so the algorithm may send your content that you put with the same hashtags out to people that it's actually not a good fit to. But I feel like if there's no hashtag, the only way it's going to sort your content is through what you say, what's in the caption, and what's in the headline. And if you can get those things right, it'll actually go find the right people for you. So, for example, one of my projects is I make solo instrumental guitar music, right? So, what I did, no hashtags, but I made a headline that said, when they say instrumental music has no soul because there's no lyrics or something like that, right? I immediately got a ton of traction from that with no hashtags because I was speaking to my ideal fan and I was speaking to them to kind of animate them on a concept, for them to disagree with the person who said, well, your instrumental music, can't resonate because there's no lyrics or something like that. That's working way better. So just a little piece of information that we've been discovering is that hashtags are not as effective anymore. In fact, I look back at the post I used hashtags on and the ones I didn't use hashtags on. The ones that had great headlines and hashtags did not perform as well as the one with great headlines and no hashtags. I don't know. I still haven't quite figured it out, but I figured I'd share, so maybe it'll start helping your content too. All right, hope this helps, y'all.